University of Illinois. His father was the president and CEO of Con Edison in the state of Illinois, so he's been, come from a very wealthy family. And as a matter of fact, it's a mailman who used to deliver mail to Thomas Ayers, that's Bill's father, claimed that he met Barack Obama while he was a student, and that he recognized him, and later in years, and that
yeah, he said, "I'm going to be the president."
Yeah, he told him he was going to be the president, and isn't that interesting that connection exists to the Ayers family? And Bill Ayers and
I'll tell you what, stay there. Back in 1 minute, and we're going to go to calls. Stay there. All right, on the line, psychologist, Vietnam veteran, 101st Airborne Division, Vietnam, going to college after he got back from Vietnam, approached by communists who were trying to recruit disgruntled military personnel. Hey, let's kill cops, let's blow stuff up. Infiltrated them, helped put them in prison. He joins us now. We got loaded phones wanting to talk to Larry, who's on the line with us. His website is Larry101stblogspot.com. I'm Alex Jones. My website's Infowars.com. The next segment, we're going to tell you about a conference he's got coming up in D.C. Larry Grathwohl, again, is our guest. Larry, you were finishing a point before we go to calls about the Ayers family and Obama.
Well, I wanted to make the comment that Bill Ayers and Barack Obama were attending the University of Columbia at the same time, which, combined with the fact that this mailman knows of a connection between Barack and the Ayers family while he was an undergrad, tells me that, Bill and Barack have known each other for a lot longer than what either one has been willing to admit. And as a matter of fact, Bill Ayers has acknowledged the fact that he wrote Dreams of My Father as a ghostwriter. So,
I mean, these guys are basically family.
Oh, yes.
Because they're very proud of the son of Frank Marshall Davis. What do you think of that theory?
Well, if you look at the pictures side by side, it makes a lot of sense. Barack looks more like Frank Marshall Davis than he does a Barack Obama.
And he says there was his grandfather would take him over there every week, and that there was this weird unspoken thing between his grandfather and Frank Marshall Davis. I mean, what are you doing taking your kid over to some weird communist pornographer's house every week?
Well, keep in mind, too, that grandfather had worked for the CIA. And when his daughter became pregnant, it makes sense that he wouldn't have wanted a family connection to Frank Marshall Davis, who was a known and avowed communist. So, making this arrangement for Barack Obama Sr. to be named as the father, it suddenly makes sense. And also the fact that it's alleged that on the birth certificate it says father unknown, which would also make sense, wouldn't it? I highly recommend that video, and as a matter of fact, Joel has given me some of those, and I've been sending them out to people that aren't aware of it. I think it's...
yeah, no, it's not hype that people should get the video, Dreams of My Real Father, that we have discounted at InfoWarsShop.com, because, I mean, when I first was told 2-3 months ago by Jerome Corsi, it's not even officially out yet, folks, but they gave it to us first. Very nice to do that, so we're selling it now. It's not even out to the 24th. When I first heard this from Corsi, because Corsi's like, oh, my gosh, the whole thing, the reason they put out that he was born there, the reason his wife said he was born there, the reason that for 16 and a half years they said in his PR releases he was from Kenya, and then we couldn't, and then we're like, hey, you said you were born in Kenya. That was all the cover stories. He's really Frank Marshall Davis's son. I'm like, yeah, let me see the film. But I saw the film, and it is chillingly convincing, in my view.
That's my opinion, too. Especially when you see the photographs side by side. I mean, it's pretty obvious that that there's more likelihood of a relationship between Frank Marshall Davis and Obama than there is Barack Obama.
Well, there's the voice, there's the same freckles. I mean, you could tell when somebody's daddy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And then there's the fact that he talks about him for thousands of words in his book.
Yes. And
then there's the mother posing for the photos, and it's the same couch. Very convincing. I tell you, folks, the film's available right now. InfoWarsShop.com. You also support us and the filmmaker when you get it. Get a free Citizen Rulebook with it. We're going to come right back, go to phone calls, and a final segment with our guest. All right, I want to hurry through phone calls with our guest, Larry Grathwohl. If you just joined us, he infiltrated the Weathermen, helped send him to prison. They now basically run the White House for all intents and purposes. And I want to go to your phone calls, but what are some ways that they could try to take over? Because as far as I see, Mitt Romney is not opposing him. And they're out saying Mitt Romney's a felon and needs to be arrested. And Mitt Romney's rolling around the ground saying, please don't be mean to me. He won't even go after him on Fast and Furious. He wants, Condi Rice, Miss Abortion in there. I mean, I don't see any opposition to Obama. And right now, it looks like I guess they may just put Obama back in. What should we, because I had Joseph Farah on last week of WorldNet Daily. He's back on next week. And it made some national news when he said, if Obama gets back in, we're going to be hunted down like dogs. And Farah wouldn't just say that if he didn't think that. He's getting audited and had a drone over his rural house. I get threats and stuff. I don't want to give attention to it because I don't care. It lets me know I'm doing the right thing. But Larry, you've been around these people. Could they stage a false flag event and blame it on domestic groups like Oklahoma City, on patriot groups? We know they did the last one, OKC, from all the witnesses I've talked to. What type of tricks do you think they could do or get us into a war? I mean, is Obama more dangerous before the election or after the election? Will they go quietly? Will they? Because, I mean, this is a bold group that's willing to blow up police stations, and they're in control now. So what can we expect them to try to do?
Well, I think, you also have to consider the fact that Barack Obama has compared himself to the greatest presidents in our history, including Abraham Lincoln. So this guy's image of himself and his ego is quite large. And I suspect that if by chance Mitt Romney does manage to win the election, that there's a real possibility that our president will come up with some kind of emergency that requires the declaration of martial law and the negation of the election results. And I realize that may sound absurd to some people, but you've got to measure his associations and his ego with what the possibilities are. And I don't think that they're willing to give up the power that they have willingly.
Wow.
I also believe that you could be right. At any kind of events that justify martial law again will allow these camps that have been built in these prisons to come into use. I mean, I saw a program on TV not long ago that was showing a prison that had been built, I believe it was in Nebraska, that was totally empty. This was a prison built by the federal government, state-of-the-art. And nothing's there. The community's kind of disappointed because they expected a boost to the economy.
Oh, yeah, we've got one up here in Taylor with nobody in it. And see, that's what's incredible about this is everything they planned back in college with their PhDs, they're now in control. And again, people devastating it. Everybody in their gut can feel it. That's why 2, 3, 4, 5 million guns a month are being sold. In surveys, national surveys, they say, why are you buying guns? We don't trust the government. And I want to warn the communists and their banker financiers. You're not going to get away with this. I mean, I want to give people a news flash. I mean, Larry's a combat veteran, a psychologist now. He's analyzing the megalomania of these people. And we were talking during the break, about, my gosh, we may be lined up against the same wall, but obviously we're not just going to sit here and be lined up against a wall.
Absolutely. They may get me, but it's going to be an all-day job, so they better bring a lunch. And I hope that other people feel the same way. And it's time for the so-called silent majority to wake up and start to take our country back. this move towards world government and allowing our country to come under the control of the UN is very real. This Law of the Seas Treaty that basically is going to take away our right to govern our own international waters or our coastal waters is just absurd.
Did you see the CNBC where they came out and said we're slaves to world government now and all this?
Yeah, and they believe that. And they're look at this, that they're going to have this UN meeting about weapons. They call it Small Arms Treaty, and they put Iran in it.
And they admit that they're going to register all the guns under the treaty under UN orders. It's insane.
Well, that's the way to get around our Constitution, by saying now we're obliged to do this because of the treaty with the UN.
But Larry, doesn't this feel like a dream that we've got a guy who grew up and hangs out with the Weathermen? We've got socialist health care.
It's not a dream, Alex. It's a nightmare.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just saying it doesn't feel real. And we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop here.
I mean, if you would have asked me this question 20 years ago, I would have laughed. And yet, here he is. Barack Obama is not only friends with Bernardine Dohrn and Bill Ayers, who are admitted domestic terrorists, but Jeff Jones is part of, oh Lord, I can't remember which group it is, but he's been an advisor on the economic stimulus,
sure,
and the Obamacare.
Well, sure. Now they're putting Al-Qaeda in charge as well in Libya and Syria. And I'm no fan of Assad or Gaddafi, but these groups are 5 times worse.
Yes, the Muslim Brotherhood is now in charge of Egypt, and we're supposed to think that that's a better thing. And make no mistake, if they can destroy Israel, they will. That just goes without saying. If you give Iran the bomb, Israel is gone. Forget any threat on the United States, which if they get a missile that'll reach our shores, they'll use it on us too.
Well, it's just crazy that I'm told give up all my rights because of Al-Qaeda, and then there they are putting them in charge in countries. I'm going to have to keep you to the bottom of the hour. I want to plug your conference that's coming up, but we've got to go to calls right now. Tell folks about the conference you've got coming up.
Well, it's next Thursday. That's July the 19th at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. It's sponsored by Cliff Kincaid and America's Survival. And it's essentially titled The Vetting of Obama, Radical Islam and the Soros Connection. And what we're going to do is hopefully vet Obama, which, of course, the mainstream media has not even attempted to do. Joel Gilbert's going to be there, the person who produced the video that we were talking about, Dreams of My Real Father.
Yeah, everybody needs to go to that and say hi to Cliff Kincaid. I want to get him back on the show, but I go on Japanese, British TV, national U.S. TV, CNBC. I've been on literally almost everything. And I've been on Russia Today because, I can do it on Skype. And he put an article out saying, I think Jones is a dupe of the Kremlin now because he's criticizing all these new wars just because I don't want our country to go bankrupt. But, Kincaid's a good guy. He cares about the country. But just tell him I said hi because he's so funny. Joel Gilbert, great guy. We're carrying his film. Let's go to some calls quickly here. We'll go to Elaine. Then we'll go to Matt and others. Julio there in Illinois as well. Elaine, you're on the air with our guest. Go ahead.
I'm honored, truly honored to be with two of my greatest heroes.